Hey, my beautiful bitches, it's me, Fiona St. James, and welcome to another episode of Fiona's Coffee Talks. And as always, I like to start off every day with a fresh, hot, black cup of coffee. Hold the cream! I'd love to. And of course, I think of my favorite quote of the century by Oscar Wilde, which says, "Life is too important to be taken seriously, so lighten up, folks. Because guess what, bitch? In a minute, we all gonna be dead anyway, so just saying. So, today's topic is, drum roll please, Fierce Annual Events Part 6. Yay! Okay, so now I know I've been talking about like 2, 3, and 4 were about leather. Part 5 was about like me and drag and opening ceremony. So this is another drag thing. So as you all know, former Empress of the Imperial Court of New York City. I was Empress number 15. I think they're up to number, I don't even know what, 30 something, because I was 2001 to 2002. So do the math, Pythagoras. I can't right now. So anyway, so as we know, like every weekend, there's usually like somewhere in the nation or internationally an emperor and empress stepping down while the next are stepping up. So picture it. It was like March or May of like 2006. So I had already stepped down. And the Imperial Court of Denver, they were having their coronation. So at that point, I was with my best friend Bunnies, who lives in Denver. Hey, Bunnies. And because, like, as I've said before, like a lot of times, like the whole drag world and leather world, like they're in each other's life, or like they attend each other's things because there's such a crossover. And, but they're both groups support one another. So it just so happened that I was going to be there, and it was going to be Denver's coronation. And I had, because this was already 2006, so like, I had already stepped down from being Empress. I wasn't traveling as much. And then because like, it would just so happen that I was going to Denver anyway, so I didn't necessarily want to go in drag. So I didn't tell anyone I was going. And it was funny too, because no one else from New York went that particular year. So I showed up, and of course I knew everyone. So it was wonderful to be there. And it was like all of the other coronations. Now with our court, like we know ahead of time who's going to be Empress. If I remember correctly with that one, they followed the suit of at midnight, you find out the winner. So picture it. Here we are at this hotel in their ballroom, and in the room, there was another room, and there was a celebration there happening. It was a Cambodian New Year's Eve celebration. I guess theirs isn't December 31st, because as I said, this was sometime in the spring. All I know is we're there, and by now it's after midnight, because obviously they ring in the new year at midnight. So thank God they had already like announced the new emperor and empress, because then girl, all of a sudden, I don't know if I actually remembered hearing it, but all of a sudden you just heard this big commotion and like gunshots. Apparently these bitches at this Cambodian New Year thing started shooting each other. Girl, I don't know if it was like, I think like it was some gang related shit, like gang showed up or gang members. All I know is that bullets flying, bitches getting shot up, and you got a shitload of drag queens in this one room, and it became this huge thing. And we were like, we couldn't go anywhere, and we were like on lockdown. Girl, I thought I was back in prison. They said, lockdown, bitch, you bitches ain't going nowhere. So thank God I wasn't in drag. Like I was in like my cute suit, and I had all of my tuxedo, I should say, and I wore my crown. So I had all of like my Empress jewels, but I was giving you that look. And, but like no one could leave. They shut the shit down. The cops came. It became this huge thing. And then like the only thing they let us do was they had to interview every single person. So I think they allowed you to like go up and get your ID, because you needed to have your ID if you didn't have it with you. And then they interviewed everyone, one person at a time, which I'm kind of thinking, well, why are you interviewing us? Like, we weren't even in the room. We were here. They were there. You need to find out what the hell is going on there. I don't know if people died. I just know that it was this huge to-do. I think to myself, Because, they always say that, like, Cambodia, like, maybe, I don't know, maybe they were running out of food. And these bitches were so hungry, they were like, I'm going to shoot you up, bitch. I want the last piece of bacon. I don't know. I shouldn't make fun of that. But it was like two gangs that decided to show up to their New Year's celebration and start shooting each other. So it was crazy too, because, I remember we didn't get to leave till like 5 a.m. So can you imagine these queens, honey, all completely decked out in drag? You weren't allowed to go up to your room until you got some kind of clearance. And even once they like interviewed you and like cleared you, they didn't let us leave the premises until everyone was interviewed. So, honey, by 5 a.m., half these bitches, according to their face, looked like it was 5 p.m. and drag rock galore. I was like, thank God I'm not in drag. Because, honey, at that point, talk about sobering up, too. Because, there's a lot of drinking and bitches drinking, doing God knows what. And then suddenly you got sober up because all this shit happening. It was nuts. So then Bunnies and I, when we were finally able to leave, we went to get our we went to his car, and where we were parked, I guess like some of the shooting happened inside, but then these bitches took it outside because then they had taped it off, and I guess one of the bodies had like fallen right there, and it was like 2 feet from our car. So then Bunny's car was part of the car's crime scene. So they were like, bitch, you can't get your car anytime soon. So thank God Brad Busby, hey, Brad, who was the past Emperor of Denver, he was there. I think he was stepping down. No, I think... Anyway, he loaned us his car. So then we took his Jeep and dropped other people off too. Because suddenly, like, some people couldn't get to their cars as it was part of the crime scene. And then, like, the next day we drove back, gave him his car. And Bunny's got his car. But oh my God, I just remember thinking to myself, I've never experienced anything like this. And I just thank God that I wasn't in drag. And, thank God we were all fine. We made light of it. I remember like for the 5 hours that we were kind of stuck there. And by then, like, the party was over pretty much, but we were all there. They ordered like big, whatchamacallit, big pizza pies, like a ton of them. So imagine 3 a.m., you all fucked up, drag rot. You look like something the cat drug in, tired. Your high is wearing off. You can't even drink anymore. So what do? You eat carbs. So we're eating all this pizza, which wasn't even all that good. But honey, at that point, I would have put anything in my mouth. Just saying. So Denver's coronation, 2006, Cambodian New Year's shootout. One of the most, I had so much fun, all things considering. You have to take these situations, and I've always said, when life throws you lemons, add vodka. So, not that there was any vodka at that point, but you know what I mean. All right, guys, so thank you so much for being here. Don't forget, thumbs up, subscribe if you have not. Follow on my social media. Everything is pretty much at Fiona St. James. And if you want the full detail of that, of course, my self-published memoirs, The Life and Crimes of Fiona St. James, which you can get at FionaSt.James.com. The Saint is not spelled out. It's just ST, no period after the T. 400 pages of the truth, including this story that I just told you, in a lot more detail. I got a way with words. So, all right, guys. Thanks again for being here. Love you so much, and I will see you soon.